Hello YouTubers! Today I'm going to show you some detail on how you can add LED lighting to your cakes. This was a request from one of our subscribers that I wanted to fulfill. We've done 3 cakes so far with LED lighting. Our Superman Fortress of Solitude cake, our Disney's Frozen cake, and our Star Wars lightsaber Galaxy Mirror cake. Check out those cakes. I'll put links to them in the description box. I also want to give a shout out to all of our subscribers. We've continued to grow and I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get started on this tutorial. First, I'm going to go ahead and cover the lights that I use for my cakes. I have done this before, so if you've already seen it, feel free to skip through. These are battery powered. It takes 3 AA batteries for this one. They come in different lengths and different colors. This is a bright white. They bend. They just come on this really thin wire, and you can bend them into different shapes, which is handy to get them into different parts of your cake. They are waterproof, so they're easy to clean. You can just soak them in some soapy water. The battery pack is not waterproof, so you do need to keep that in mind. You can put these in the refrigerator. I wouldn't recommend putting them in the freezer, but you can in the refrigerator. Just take the batteries out because the cold will suck the life out of your batteries. They're very inexpensive. I think I paid less than $4 with shipping for this one on eBay. They're also available on Amazon, and local craft stores probably carry them as well. I'll put a link in the description box as to where you can find them on Amazon. When you're designing your cake, keep in mind that the battery pack needs to be hidden in the back of the cake, so your wire has to come in from the back side of your cake, or it needs to come up through the middle of your cake. For this demo, I only made a 2-layer 6-inch cake, but if you have a multi-tiered cake, so this cake pan would be your bottom tier and then our top tier, and we want to get our lights onto this bottom tier. The way I did it on both the Frozen cake and I also did it on our Superman cake. Before stacking your layers, you're going to cut the bottom layer in half and place it onto your cake board with just a very small gap. Then you can run the wire through that gap and get it onto your lower tier. If you want to bring your lights up directly through the middle of your cake, cake boards have this little tab right here, and you can push it out. The hole is normally to run a dowel up through your cake to hold your layers together, but we can use it for our lights. You're also going to need a drinking straw. And what we'll do is, with our cake setting on here, run the straw up through that hole, up through the middle of our cake, and then we can run our lights up through the straw. It's easier than just trying to punch a hole into your cake because the lights do bend and it's very difficult to get it through that hole without the straw. Before I run my lights up through the middle of my cake, which is what I want to do, I want to tell you about another way to run your lights if you need to. This is kind of my last resort, but if you get yourself in a pickle and you need to get your lights from one side of your cake to the other side of your cake, you can use, this is just what they call a party straw. It's very, very thin, and the lights will fit through it. You can dig a trench just a little wider and a little deeper than the straw, and then attach it with some buttercream and run your lights through it. Then when you cover your cake with buttercream, you won't see the straw at all. So that's kind of a desperation act to move your lights from one side of your cake to the other if you have to. Now I'm ready to run my straw up through the middle of my cake. This is where you really could use another pair of hands that I don't have. So I'm really not going to be able to get this on film, I'm sure. But again, all I'm going to do is run the straw up through the hole in the cake board, up through the middle of my cake. Another thing to keep in mind when you're running your lights up through the center of your cake, your excess lights are going to be at the bottom of your cake board. So you want to add some little feet or somehow raise your cake board up so that your cake isn't setting on your lights. You don't want to damage your lights, especially after you've spent all that time getting them attached to your cake. I'm going to go ahead and string my lights up, and then we'll move on to how to manage those wires. While you're frosting your cake, it's time to start working on our wire management. We want to make sure our wire stays where we want it. To do that, we're going to use a drinking straw again, and we're just going to cut it using a pair of scissors into some small sections. All we're going to do is where you want the wire to go is we're just going to push our little pieces of straw down into our buttercream. And we're just going to lay out the path of our lights. Once you get your pieces of straw in place, pop your cake in the freezer for about 30 minutes to help keep the straws in place. Now we're ready to run our lights, and we'll just feed them through all of the straws that we've put on. Once you get your lights strung through all the straws that you've laid out, you can decorate your cake. I just made some candy fire. We made this in our last video, our Game of Thrones Dragon Fire cupcakes, so you can check out that video to see how I made it. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like with the lights out. And that's how easy it is to add LED lighting to your cakes. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you got some inspiration. Please join our channel. If you're a new subscriber already subscribed to our channel, be sure to hit the notify button so you'll be alerted anytime we upload a new video. We hope to see you back soon.